So I'm going a different route, creating these sculpture slash action figure. I don't know what category this could be in. It's probably its own. Um, but what's cool is I'm finally seeing what is the best method. I like to use different mediums. I mean, easily, yeah, I could probably just sculpt this out of clay or just do a full 3D print out of a full body in different poses. But I wanted to test my skills a little bit more, and try different mediums and see if I can execute it the same way. So hence to why I'm using like medical tape, foil, but as you can see, well, somewhat as you can see, there's I'm pretty much using super glue, kind of like connect those two pieces together, which is the pelvic area as well as the head chest point. So I use like a wire frame to give it basically its spine, and then build foil around it, and then use medical tape. It's like Johnson & Johnson. So far that seems to be the best one that actually holds, doesn't unravel itself. But that's one of the methods I'm going about doing it this time around. I want this sculpture to be posable. Don't know what that's gonna look like. The one that you've seen probably before prior was a little bit more, it was a test trial. It wasn't really all what I was aiming for. Tried liquid nails to give it texture, but of course, just like anything with liquid nails, it hardens. And so it's starting to crack in certain areas. And even when I try to use different mediums of texturing up applications in between, like maybe joints or stuff like that, it still will get hard and crack. So pretty much, here he is, Spawn. This is so far 3D printing mixed with a little bit of what I discussed earlier. So can't wait to see it actually finally finish. I'm still torn between if I should give him this ninja attire, which would definitely help in posability around the legs because it's not showing all the imperfections. But we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I kind of wanted to give my own interpretation of Spawn, but still staying true to the essence of it. So we'll see. But so far, I'm liking how the pelvic and the concept that I came up with doing it this way, it does help in a sense of pointing it back to the source. And what I mean by that is more like you have a pelvic bone, it's almost like how a body is, right? Like it finds a location to where it attaches itself to muscle, that whole deal. So it's like it's easier to connect. So like for instance, you could see like the pelvic bone is that base, and then you have muscles coming into it. So it gives you kind of a breadcrumb direction to like, okay, this is where it needs to go. Instead of just freestyling it and building as you go, it's just like, no, you have a pinpoint, just go straight to that. So I'm liking where it's going. So we'll see. But I never really get a chance to talk on these things, and actually it's new. I never really describe or explain why I'm creating something, but this is more of a fan art. It's just really seeing what I can do and what just trying out new things, I guess. I'm loving my 3D printer. I mean, I'm coming up with so many ideas to come, like whatever, even stuff to sell, hopefully. But just being creative in a different way. It does, using a 3D sculpting app and printer does make it easier with sculpting. Like you just, with hands, you don't have to worry about sculpting each new hand and hoping that it balances out and matches. All you have to do is duplicate it and then flip it. So even with feet, and again, different concept. I don't know. I always thought Spawn had like an outer layer of what a human body's skin texture is. So instead of it being just a suit, it is a suit, but it's like an armor over a body. So I believe like aliens kind of dictate that. And I forgot what that particular movie. I think it was the most recent one, but like a prequel of how aliens and whoever created them, right? I know, sci-fi nerd here, but or geek, but you know, it's like an exoskeleton of something. So you know, to my mind, or at least my concept is like, yeah, clothes could probably fit over it because it's just an other layer of skin and armor. So hence to why, you know, you see the feet, if you can really get it, has nails. And Spawn always had nails. So I was like, well, what does that look like if it was more realistic, or, you know, my interpretation of it. And I did the skull, which would be around his lower half, and then his ones on the shoulder. But this, again, Asian themed, where, you know, ninja, which I wanted to use that skull depicting like what their culture and how they interpret what a demon looks like and all that. You know, every culture has their own interpretation of what it looks like. So I wanted to use their version, which some of their demons have like the teeth that kind of curve up like that and the horns. So wanted to go that route. Did a little texture on the bone, kind of like a pattern. You can see right there. It's very faint. But yeah, so I mean, this is where I'm going. Hopefully it comes out right. The first one I wasn't really happy with. This one I feel it's something about when you do an art piece and you feeling like, yes, this is it. This is this is what I was aiming for. I couldn't visually, you know, get it, drawing it in a sense. Like you're just kind of drawing, making sketches and seeing, but then when you see it live 3D, it does make an impact. It's like, yes, this is actually the direction I'm going with. And even the details with the paint that I have applied on here, it definitely pops to me. So I'm happy how it turned out. I like the texture in the mask. Kind of reminds me of the Spawn movie, and that was my favorite depiction of how Spawn should look like in a real life world. So, you know, I just gave it a modernized approach to it. And what I've seen other painters, I think Alex Ross was another one that did a portrait of Spawn, and he had texture on the armor or the suit itself too. So, you know, it's all these things comes, you know, through your mind and become inspired by. But so far, yeah, this is where I'm aiming with, and, you know, see where it goes. Also, I've created some skull versions. Still trying to figure out like where do I want to even go with this. As you can see, I'm using the same chest plate as Spawn here, but yeah, see where it goes. One with his open mouth. This one's actually a little bit bigger, but still trying to play around with it, see what it does. Wanted to do a death interpretation of that. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting into the Halloween spirit of things. So we'll see. But yeah.